May I have permission from my elders to speak? That would be anybody over 39 years old. Ashe. How y'all feel? Whack, how do y'all feel? Yes. Now you sound as beautiful as you look. My name is Pacia Elaine Anderson, Dorothy's daughter, or Heaven's mom. And I'm going to share some words with you, accompanied by Britt Baker. We're gonna go on a little adventure, a little journey today, inspired by the work of Terra and Firma. By a show of hands or by applause, how many people have been able to experience the exhibit so far? Yay! So for those of you that haven't, some of this might not make sense. For those of you that have, hopefully you can find the work within the work. I guess I'll get started as soon as I get my partner. Well, you know what? We'll go ahead and get started. It's just going to ebb and flow as it ebb and flows. So before we journey together in this dynamic, right? I have a job. I have to give you a message, right? You came here to hear a message. I am the sender, you are the receiver. However, you too have a job, right? You too have a job. You are the sender, I am the receiver, right? So if you feel it, whether it's me, whether it's Shiraz, whether it's Sabah, I need you to feel like you feel it. Yeah, amen. That's what's up. Or, right? It's all a dynamic. It's an exchange. It's a give and take, right? You are not spectators. You are performers, right? We're doing this beautiful thing together. So we'll start with some words for our ancestors. Anyone in your bloodline who you feel might carry you. They keep calling to me, lightly whispering, as they have done over the centuries, lifetimes of bright minds bending and shifting into bodies that beat, tarrying and waiting, altars and offers, water daughters, sunbathing, rain dances and palms, strange trances and songs, meditations and mystics, books and rocks and fire sticks. It's always called to me, their hum and their heat, a delicate thud in my eardrums, their tonic besonics, a binaural beat, an echo with a reverb, a vibration deep in the earth, in the shadow of sound, the emptiness in the dark. They are the ease in my breath, the cry of my lark. With gratitude in my prana, they make my breath an asante sana, and to them I give honor for my grandmother, for the ancestors. Air. When your body cannot hold your spirit's weight, when your frame is strained beyond what it was made to take, when your very fate is at stake, when you want to separate yourself from the illusion, vacate to a place of your choosing, when your brooding leaves you bruising, feeling the two yous as one unit, being attuned to being in tune with the pendulum that swings between feeling and observation. A basic philosophy in that sacred geometry, the mapping of mathematics with the most fabulous abacus, and I count it all joy. The hourglass that has come to pass this cup before me. Self-sacrificing offers to alter chronology. Keepers of time, we clock the benign and find comfort in the cover of an overscheduled life. We divide our eras in intervals. Ration pieces of our little souls on islands we live alone, never minding the tides, and for whom the bell tolls, we flow and float higher. We are celestial sky riders, prostrations before constellations. We sit in patience, these stars, we do make them. It's all relative to perception. Because the past exists only here in this present, and it is with this method that each of our seconds make every instant an opportunity to shape the way we move and how fluidly we position our attention to create continuity. It doesn't require an allegiance to repetition or sequence. We can dismantle that channel, alternate our current state, because when you feel the aftershock of your own realized power, you no longer divide the space and time in blocks of minutes or hours. You measure your moments and movements, become impenetrable barbed cubes, and gain a deeper self-interest when you shift your commitment from the if to the infinite. And the difference is we flow like wind and breeze, bend like air and breathe, sensei of sensory, light harder like water, light harder like water, light harder like water. I have known this before. Black gold, soft turbulence, bubbling, lovingly hugging me with the force of a solar flare, darkness pooling, bringing a cooling to my unruly little mood swings, feeling this familiar. I've known this before. Hard frame built of gathered dust, of carbon and coil, intelligence and simplicity, God particles and soil, an ocean of rainmakers condensing words into silent prayers, squeezing gentleness from the moment through scent and sentiment. We touch history every time I become me physically. In each and every memory, throughout each and every century, every rebirth, my vibes reverb, keeper of free birth, who sees in each and every memory, throughout every single century, every rebirth, my vibes reverb, keeper of free verse, who sees worth in deep hurt. This glass, this black, I have known this before. I have been seated by this sun. I have absorbed light off this jeweled crown, like droplets of milk chocolate, making my milky way around. Carved ritual tools, carried sacred cloth, worked the roots and gathered the fruits, placed weathered hands around vine-wrapped staffs. I too have led multitudes towards freedom, served at the feet of the righteous, bathed in lakes of milk and honey, chartered galaxies, ebbed and flowed, ridden the wave of rippling rage, made my home in this rich darkness, rotted away in prison cells, raised nations and begged for change. I've sharpened the poison tips of spears. I have taken heads in battle. Birthed babies with gentleness, listened intently to the trees, carried both buckets and muskets, read my future in the creases of tea leaves, and still, each time, in each instant of resistance, in the expansive, unyielding, wide open dimensions, yet still somewhere in the single centimeter of this ether, I have caught me with this knowing that I have been here before. More than immortal, I am a black porous portal, transforming my morals and absorbing my wormholes. I am the rise in that vibe when you look someone in the eye. And though distance may divide, or routine and time, rendering your space as high as the tide, still the look that holds tight two ends of a flashback. I am rich memory, I am fond intensity, held in place by the mere desire to create it. When one comes alive, when our atoms collide with twin flames, one desire, sacred names bathed in fire, bathed in fire, bathed in fire, fire, fire. Still life, pretty and shiny. I could hold its sweetness in my hand, tickle the linchpin, stroke the beautiful danger, a delicate malevolence, the simple and gentle, miserable symbol. Hold this opus, the explosive closeness, so focused that I didn't notice the dagger in my back, resting neatly between my shoulder blades, as though it was an extension of me. Like golden butterfly wings, a beautiful death of the little life I had left. I was pressed into me so deep I couldn't speak. Stopped my heartbeat. Face left stinging from the heat of its deception, blew up in my own face like I was cradling those grenades. By destruction, displaced, hot coals, my road paved, burned by betrayal, inferno of impermanence, struck by beauty with a pain unmatched, became the air that I breathed. Had to muster my cluster of stars in the dust first, then gather my splattered and battered gray matter. I had to hold myself together. And this darkly woven, smoking opus, hopeless and broken, I was a miracle in motion, like a chorus of auroras or areas and auras. I had to make the imaginable doable, make my passage here useful, but apparently that's kind of delusional, like a real life crucible. an unusual musical of adventure and tyranny, mischief and conspiracy, the lies and the heresy, like scribes and Pharisees, they were daring me to dare to be in the middle of an epicenter, a cauldron boiling with passion, at bliss grasping, bullshit masking, trying to hold on to this little orgasm, monuments to my risen sons, prayers in silence, Amen Ra, like the hottest stone hearth. This was my very worst hurt, the type of big birth that can birth a universe. The type of big burst that can birth the universe. Universe, one verse, one song, living earth, earth, earth. Lineage of creation. A terraform tapestry, cultivated to hold our sacred uprootings and masteries. This rock becomes this dust, crumblings of temporal, minuscule minerals, granules of grandeur, fragments of infinity, illuminating time, light years away, crystallizing banks and shores, lining coasts, a breathing story, well-versed in absorbing the outpouring of gory ways man enjoys destroying things. Metal teeth clenched tightly, looking heavenward, charting our course with bullet-ridden fragility, crop circles slicing off compassion, biding our time, smoothing the rough, the minus, the plus, the minus, the plus, the globe, the orb, the sphere, the world, the dirt, the clay, the tension in the spectrum, haphazard arrangement, disorientation, the cosmic collection, the modest reflection, the terra in, the terra in firm. Ah, Asante. Is a 2018 Visionary Award winner for Outstanding Creative Person Artist of the Year or something like that.
All of it.
She is the founder of Sibling Support Network, which is a valuable service for those who have lost siblings to violence. She is a tea maven. She is a screwed artist. She is somebody's daughter, somebody's auntie. Please give it up for Shiraz Gorman.